been waiting for this for a long, long time. This is a young woman who is really taking the jazz world by storm. There's a real buzz about her. Her name is Georgia Crandon, and yes, up-and-coming jazz artist. And tonight she's with the Vintage Youth. So you are in for a real, real treat. And the first track is Sing to You.
Tried so hard to look cool. I knew your best friend, the guy with the long hair who introduced me to you. You joined my workplace and I saw your face, in all its gold. You asked me questions and paid me attention, just like we met before. Oh, and then you laughed, and when I asked, you said I made you smile. That's when I figured perhaps you'll be around a little while. And I will say, if you're looking for someone to cling to, I will sing to you. I'll never tell you worries will make you feel lively. I will sing to you. I'm not waiting to be your lady if we both can commit it. Oh, but if you're looking for someone to cling to, I will sing to you. Oh, and when we went drinking, I started thinking about us. Then we stumbled down the road to our friend's house. On the sofa, you pulled me closer as those old records played. Then we spent all night in each other's arms. When you kissed me, I realized you were straight. Those were yesterdays. Now everything has changed. Oh, you're not the same. Perhaps there'll come a day when you say, hey, let's go back to the way we were. And I will be your lady, but if you will be my girl. And I will say, if you're looking for someone to cling to, I will sing to you. I'll never tell you worries will make you feel lively. I will sing to you. I'm not waiting to be your lady if we both can commit. Oh, but if you're looking for someone to cling to, I will sing to you. Oh, I will sing to you. Yeah, I will sing it. I will sing to you.
Yay! Georgia and the Vintage Youth. And Sing to You. Are you going to sit at that microphone to talk to me?
Yeah, I don't
Is that
know.
cool?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, fine. I am made up to eventually meet you.
It is lovely to meet you.
Yeah, because when was it I played you? It's quite some time, about 18 months?
Yeah, about a year and a half,
Yeah,
I think. But
yeah.
you gave me my first radio play, so it's cool to meet you. Yeah.
And we had such a response from those plays. And so, yes, after that, I've been following you. And when I came here, I said, ooh, I'd love to get Georgia in for a session. And my wish was granted. Did you always want to be a musician?
Not really. I've always been a musical kid. Like, I played piano when I was 11, always sung since before that, I can remember, I've always sung. But no, I wasn't going to go into it. It was more of a hobby for me. I started off wanting to go into production. I wanted to go into that kind of behind the scenes stuff. Then I started to fall in love with musical theatre, and I trained a bit in that. And that's where I learned, that's where I become familiar with jazz, through musical theatre. And once I started hearing that and going to shows and hearing the big brass bands, I thought, actually, I think I want to make my own stuff using this kind of sound. So, yeah.
So what happened? You started to write the songs, and how did you give them that jazz vibe?
It was always in my head. When I wrote the songs, I could always hear in my head what I wanted them to sound like with a bigger band. But then I was just going up by myself with a piano gigging, and it was just through different sorts of gigs that I met different musicians, and I've met all these guys through all different kinds of ways, and they've all helped me give that big sound that I was planning from the start. Yeah.
So we're talking about the Vintage Youth. Can you introduce them to us if you don't mind?
Yes. So on my right, we have Ollie on bass, who originally auditioned as a bass player, but now he plays keys for me quite a lot.
All right.
He's on bass today, though.
Versatile.
Yes. We've got Harry on drums, who's just moved over from New Zealand. And he's been playing with us for a couple of months now, I think. And we have Dan Smith on sax over here, who's very lovely.
And I know you're not on a microphone. Auckland, or whereabouts?
Top of the South Island.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I'm in God's own country. I always think, if I win the lottery, that's where I'm going first, when I decide where else I'm going to travel to after that. You released your second EP, didn't you?
Yes.
El Reco. Now, tell us the story behind El Reco.
So El Reco, I wanted to. We got in touch with Neville Staple from the Specials, through your brother, actually. He gave us his details, and I thought, what have I got to lose? I just asked him, do you want to collaborate? Do you want to feature on some of my stuff? And I sent some of my more ska kind of songs over to him, and he came back and he loved it, which was amazing. And so we planned to record with him, and I thought I wanted to make an EP using my ska material and have him help me push the ska elements in it, which he did. But I couldn't think of a name for the EP at all. Even when we'd finished recording, I couldn't think of a name. But being in the studio with Neville was an incredible experience. He's a one-of-a-kind guy.
He's great, such a character,
he
isn't he?
He is. And his stories and everything. And we also had Dave Swift on bass, who I've been working with for a long time now, and he's a legend. He's a lovely guy, and he's very supportive. But we were in the studio together, and so I've got Dave Swift and Neville Staple both talking about their own stories and, the people that they know. And they both knew Reco Rodriguez very well. Reco Rodriguez played with the Specials and then played with the Jules Holland Orchestra. And he was one of my favourite musicians. I loved him on trombone. I remember watching him, on the Hootenanny and stuff like that. And and he's recently passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah. So I thought, I'm going to tribute this to him, because I felt like there was a big kind of presence from him, I felt, with the recording. I asked my trombone player to kind of mimic his kind of playing. So El Reco was apparently his nickname. So I called the EP El Reco.
Of course, it can't be cheap for you, because you've got all of these different musicians and what have you.
That's the bank of Dad for you.
Oh, really? Good old Dad. What's his name?
Ivor Grandad.
Hello, Ivor.
Father. No, he's very supportive. Both my parents are. They come to all my gigs. But my dad helps me out a lot. Takes me to all the auditions and interviews and meetings. They're both great parents.
So there was never that kind of thing, well, why don't you do something else? So you've always got something to fall back on.
Never at all. I don't think my mum and dad have ever told me what I should go into. They've always, like I said before, I was going to go into production when I was in school. Every sort of career option I've had in mind, they've always been supportive of it. They love coming to my gigs, and they love it as much as I do.
Well, they must be so proud, especially when they see the crowd sort of grooving and really, really getting into it. When you were a kid then. Were they playing music in the house?
Yes, all the time. I remember on a Sunday it was like no telly was on. It was always like Elvis gospel stuff, like
Great.
while they were cooking. But yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of Motown and soul. That was from my mum. They were both big Elvis lovers, both my mum and my dad. So I grew up listening to a lot of that. But like I said, the jazz come through my own sort of experiences with musical theatre. And yeah, I kind of found that by myself. But yeah,
you
there's
seem
always
to
music
embrace
in the house.
everything.
Yeah, loads of different styles. I love reggae, I love ska, just all those old, anything kind of from the 30s to the 70s, really. That's what I like, yeah.
And what kind of people then come to your gigs?
All sorts. We have all sorts of ages. Yeah, anywhere. I have like young girls. When I do more family-friendly gigs, I have a lot of kind of younger 5-year-old, 7-year-old girls kind of coming up, wanting a picture and stuff. That's lovely. And then all the way up to the elderly. I have, older folks come down to my gigs. And yeah, I think that's what I love about the style of music I do, because the older generation kind of remember it.
Yeah.
They recognise it, whereas for the new generation, it's something new
Something
that they haven't
new and a
heard
bit
of.
different, isn't it, from the
Yeah.
stuff that they might be listening to online, whatever, streaming.
Exactly.
It's a new and exciting style. And the other thing is, talking about older people being at gigs, there was a generation sort of after the war that were made to be twin set and pearls and weren't allowed to be young.
Yeah.
And then the following generation were young, and
Yeah.
and then the next generation were like, well, we don't have to stop going to gigs or stop going to raves just because we're a certain age. We're going to carry on and do it. So music now is just for absolutely everyone.
Completely.
Isn't it? Right, we asked you to pick a tune, and you suggested Frankie Valli, Can't Take My Eyes Off You. Why?
I struggled with that big time. I think Dan
Well,
came
it's
over
one
to me.
tune.
Yeah, what's the one song you want us to play? I was like, I don't know. I won't suggest the one that I was going to play. They said, we don't think that's appropriate for radio. But no, this tune...
I'll find out in a minute.
This tune, I do this at my gigs and it always goes down well. This is a lot of my covers that I do, I change them up a lot. This is probably the only cover that I do that's similar to the original, and everybody always sings along. Everybody loves this song. It's a banger.
Frankie Valli and Can't Take My Eyes Off You.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to on the lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I'm frail, pretty baby. Now that I found you, stay.
Can't Take My Eyes Off You, that's Frankie Valli. And my guest is Georgia and the Vintage Youth, and somebody who's seriously making a name for herself. And tell us about Mo Pleasure.
Mo Pleasure.
Mo
okay.
Pleasure.
I met him at the 606 Club. I went there for dinner, and he used to be in Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah.
He was MD for Bette Midler and was MDing for Michael Jackson just before he passed. Started his career when he was 15 playing bass for Ray Charles. So that will do it, won't it? But yeah, I met him. Again, just thought, what have I got to lose? Passed my stuff on to him. And he's going to be producing another EP of mine, which we're going to be putting together in December.
So this will be the third EP before we get the album.
Yes.
Do you have to be quite gregarious? I mean, without being pushy, but you have to do your own marketing, don't you?
You do, especially nowadays. It's a completely different industry now. You've got to do your own work. I mean, I'm not a lover of social media
No,
or
me
anything.
neither.
But you have to do it. You have to, otherwise you're just going to be, and no one will care. It's what everybody's on nowadays. You have kind of got to go with it. So I try my best. But yeah, I just care about going out and performing.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be even worse now. There are 250 characters you can use. We're going to be bored to death by certain people, aren't we? Trump's going to be loving it.
Yeah.
He can extend his tweets. But yes, because it is, times have changed so much that middlemen are often cut out now. You can be as direct as you want, can't you? And get to people. And of course, that likewise means that people can hear you. And we've heard stories of people in America listening to bands in the UK and going, ooh, signing them just by hearing them,
That's the cool thing, because I know there's somebody told me the other day that in America there's a lot of there's more variety out there. You know, gospel music is kind of worship and country music is worship. All these different genres, and it's great that social media allows you to kind of connect with people over there. So it does have its benefits, but it does bore me a little bit.
So for the album, what have you got planned?
I don't really know yet. I'm still trying to figure out what my best kind of stuff is, because I'm very multi-genre at the minute. I'm kind of trying out all these different styles because I like so much, and I'm trying to blend it all together in my own way. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But this next EP is going to be more of my groove and soul-based kind of songs.
So you're really sort of showcasing yourself with these different styles.
Yeah, I'm just kind of putting it all out and seeing which one works best, I guess. But yeah, I'm still writing a lot, so who knows what's going to be on it. I'm not really sure yet.
And you're doing Shoreditch tomorrow night?
Yes, Shoreditch every Thursday, that is, at the Lighthouse in Rivington Street, yeah.
So if anybody's making a trip to London, might already be there, tuned in to BBC Radio Wales. So yes, Rivington Street?
Rivington Street, yeah. It's just opposite Cargo, which is quite a famous nightclub.
So the Lighthouse.
Yes, don't go to Cargo. Come across the road and see me at the Lighthouse. Or the Blues Kitchen, that's across the corner. Don't go there. Just come and see me.
You're on Vintage TV.
Yes, Vintage TV. We recorded that a little while ago. That's going to be aired on, I think, the 21st or the 22nd?
21st of December.
21st of December, yeah. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a couple of tunes on their Christmas sessions. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out.
You've got to get on the Jules Holland show later, haven't you?
Oh, I am trying my best. I am trying. Yeah, like I said, I work with Dave Swift a lot, and he's desperate to, try and help me get on there.
Yeah.
But, that would just be great to do because I've watched it for years. It would be such a nostalgic thing for me to do, going on there. I met Jules the other day, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. And he loves his ska.
He does.
Yeah.
He's into all that cool music that there isn't a lot of it nowadays. But yeah, I'd love to be on there. Just book me. Whoever's running it, just book me on there now. Yeah.
Yes, well, you never know. You never know who's listening. So, yeah, we'll do one of those petition things.
Yeah.
Get you on there. Georgia and the Vintage Youth. We want to see her now. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you for making the journey here
No worries.
to be with us. We really, really appreciate it, all of you. And that photograph of you on the road was just wonderful that went on Twitter. It was like, wow, yes, really like this. The final track that you're going to do.
This is called Remember Brick Lane.
I always wondered why it was called that.
Remember Brick Lane?
I love Brick Lane.
Do you?
Yeah.
It is cool. I like it up there. Sorry, there's something happening to my piano. What's this? How do I get that off? Oh, yeah.
Sorted.
All right.
Cool.
See, I'm not good with technology at all. Yeah, remember Brick Lane? I used to go up there with a fella, and that's all it's about.
Just hang out there.
Yeah, whenever I go there, it makes me think of
Great vintage
that.
shops.
There are loads of vintage shops, some great bars around there.
yeah.
I just go pub crawling around there a lot. Yeah.
Well, as I say, it's been a pleasure. And this is Remember Brick Lane.
Cool. Ready? It was cold the night we shared. You warmed me with your kiss, drawing circles on my skin with your fingertips. Your shirt was on the floor, your beer was on the bedside, and for those little moments I know that you were mine. The scent of your cologne, it stained out of my clothes. I was so content, but little did I know. And when the sun came up, you put your lips against my neck, woke me with your sweet embrace, and turned to me and said, when will I see you again? Green eyes I won't forget. Forgive me for thinking that you ever cared. So why did you bother, babe, when you had no intentions? Why'd you hold my hand if you weren't looking for relations? But don't you worry about me, 'cause I'll be gone soon, and no more funny memories. I'll be gone soon, and baby, you'll miss me and remember Brick Lane. Oh, I thought you would be the one to help me feel again. Such a short and fair, the laughter that we shared. Oh, we used to be inseparable, but now you're never there. So tell me that you're sorry for leaving me alone, and tell me that you want me, my body and soul. Oh, so come on, what you waiting for? I'll be gone soon when I'm not begging anymore. I'll be gone soon, and baby, you'll miss me and remember Brick Lane. Oh, I thought you would be the one to help me feel again. You say you miss the lovely things we did, but you wanna be just friends. I thought you would be the one to help me feel again.
remember Brick Lane, and that's Georgia and the Vintage Youth. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you for
And
having
safe
us.
journey, and I hope our paths cross again. And thanks to Joe for doing the sound. Much appreciated.